Welcome back. Welcome to another episode of Nain Shorts. Thank you for joining me. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Share with your friends. And hopefully this is useful to you in some way or another. Before we begin, this weekend the 13th in Carson City, Nevada, Wolf's Den Armory and Martial Arts Academy, John Atkinson, good friend, will be hosting SGM Green for a Serrata Knife and Stick seminar. So please, if you can make it, great. Please be there. Unfortunately, I will not be there. I'm helping one of our lower belts at ISK, GM Bob Gomez's school in Fremont with their brown belt test. So I'm going to be helping with that. And should be a lot of fun. So it's all martial arts related. And the weekend after, on the 20th, we have the VEA in Manteca. Our good friend Mike Cardenas is hosting. 8 different instructors will be on the mat, including GM Bob Gomez, our good friend Conrad Bowie, and a few other amazing martial artists. So definitely, if you can't make one, make the other. If you can do both, please do. And hopefully your family will forgive you for skipping on whatever it is you skipped on. I just bring mine along, and if they complain, they complain. Oh well. So now, moving on to what we're talking about today. Now, we covered a few topics as of late in reference to the actual training, and the next logical step would be then how do we apply all those concepts into keeping everything in application form? Because ultimately that's where we want to go in martial arts. Now, if we're, again, keeping the art alive, we want to make that crisp, we want to make it sharp, we want to make the moves as fluid, as sharp, as strong as possible, and maintain the essence of the art itself. But if we're talking combative, well, combat is gritty, it's ugly. You're not going to make the things work exactly the same way. So what do we need to transcend in order to start being able to do that all the time? And a lot of these concepts that we've been talking about lately have been born from that simple idea. How do we go into application? Now, we all know various drills. Our startup drills for my class, it's this. I'm doing it sloppy as hell, and I don't have the full space to do the full swings. But ultimately, it's mechanical. We're trying to get a sense of how the body works. So it's useful for a lot of things. But what would have to change in order for that to then become applicable? The 3 moves, here, here, here. How does that become different when we start using it for application? Well, we start talking about the idea of, first of all, where is my personal range? At what point is this making contact? Is it out here? Is it here? Oh, if it's here, if it's close quarter, then yeah, I need my opponent to be around this area. I need to hit him right here. If it's further away, well, then I need that extension. So I need to understand that my swing is going to hit something at optimum force. So if I don't understand that concept of my personal space, then I won't be able to effectively do it when I don't know when the other person is going to come in, when they're going to attack, or how fast they're going to come in, or how slow, or how strong. So all these things then matter in reference to being able to apply it. Then the secondary, how do I transition from one move to the next? And why would I? What if I go here and I go up instead because the situation called for it? So now I have to understand that I need to break down these movements into individual pieces and really focus on what they're for. What is this swing ultimately for? What does this one become? What can it become? And how versatile can it become by adding other concepts such as range, timing, whether or not I'm using my footwork, if I'm stepping to one side or the other. And this is the exploration then we have to do in free flow. While we do a structured drill, we are learning something, we are getting looks, and we're feeding our brains with understanding. And that one drill can be used for multiple things. It could be used for sensitivity, it could be used for speed, it could be used for developing power. And at the very beginning, it is very robotic because we're just learning the movements. 1 movement, 2 movements, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that's our basic sombrata. Each move is meant to be a hit that's being defended by the other person. It's a 1 for one. In other arts, they call it a contrada because you're literally giving each other one. And people have done it in many different forms. They've done it with knives. They've done it with single attacks. They've done it with one person is doing all the attacking while the other person is defending. You see it in other arts like charada, where one person delivers one strike and they do a sequence of events, and then they do another one and they do it on the inside, then the outside, then they move from side to side, and it becomes more and more dynamic. But is that still structured? And the answer would be simply yes. You know what's happening. You know what is being delivered. And even as the person delivering, you know what your fellow student is going to do. So how can we use that template to then start developing free flow? Well, we have to think beyond the drill itself. We can't just, all right, now you do it. Okay, oh, now it's my turn, and you do your bit. And then you do on the inside, and you're like, yeah, I can do it fast, I can do it strong. But what does it amount to? What is each one of those moves actually for? And the more obvious of the questions, will somebody actually stand there and let you do 5 or 6 moves before they get on to the next thing? And the reality is no, they're not. They're not going to do that. So how do we then engage so both sides are constantly giving something to and for and responding and acting and defending and attacking all at once? And for us, that's why we use the sombrata. I don't even want to call it a drill anymore, because we've used it for so many different things that it really is just an exercise, a structured exercise that allows us to explore different things. Eric, would you mind helping me out with this part? Because it's a little hard to visualize with my dumb ass just doing it by myself. So I have a lovely assistant that's going to help us with this, and he's camera shy, so don't make fun of him. We will hate you for it.
Thank you.
All right, but he is graciously opening up and letting me do this because I'm essentially infiltrating his class time. So he should at least get something out of it, right? So our basic sombrata, I give him one, he takes care of it. Okay, so he defended, now I'm attacking. Oh, okay, now there you go. Oh, so this is our back and forth, and we just keep going, right? And that's it. Now we can take the time and start learning. Okay, we're going to make it nice and sharp and tight and strong and structured, and I'm not going to let anything go. I can go loose. Now work on sensitivity. Oh, now where am I placing my hand? Now my focus is making sure that part is more. So you can start exploring all these different aspects, but ultimately you still know what's happening. So what do we have to do? We have to break away from it. We have to break away from the idea that, no, I'm just wiping my hand because I'm sweating. We have to break away from the idea that we know what's going to happen. And in order to do that, we have to figure out how to break the drill. So I give him one, he takes care of it, I just broke the drill. It is really that simple. But ultimately, I didn't really do anything with his hand, so maybe that wasn't the best thing to do, but I'm starting to slowly gear on the idea that I need to think beyond what's being shown. So now he takes care of that. All right, now he's attacking. Oh, I stopped the drill again, now on his turn instead of mine. Okay, cool. So now we go again. Oh, now I stopped it on his attack in a different spot. I took care of that. Okay, cool. Now, there we go again. Now I stopped it here because it seemed like a good place to do it. But these are my explorations. Okay? Now we just did that. So now let me feed you. Let me feed you. And you stop it wherever you feel is comfortable. There you go. Look at that. That's where he felt comfortable. He broke the drill. He knew what was happening. So, of course, you have the time to think about all these concepts. But what did he do? He used his personal range. He understood that we're a 360 idea where I'm moving. He actually moved to the side. So now my energy is going this way right into his stick. Now, did he have to really contemplate all those things? Not really. What we have found in our class is that as we give the students instructions and concepts, and we then at the end of each class let them explore them in a free flow state, they themselves start filling in the gaps of when and where to use them. So this, great, learn to concepts. But what happens when we then completely break away from it. And we'll start with some brada again. And we cycle through just to get comfortable, but then we start. Woo! That wasn't an intended disarm. Thank you very much, sir, for your help. Appreciate it. And no, he didn't give that to me, by the way. He wasn't trying to make me look good on camera. But this is ultimately where we go, where we start free-flowing the drill. We start off with something that we do understand, but eventually we don't even do that anymore. We just start going because ultimately that's what a fight is essentially. It's chaos. You don't know what the opponent knows, you don't know what they try. But what we do try to focus on is allowing the back and forth to go far enough that we can start seeing new things, new ideas pop up, new things that we didn't consider prior because something shifted, because they came in a little strong, a little too fast, maybe they got a little bit too hyped up. So not only are we learning how to identify what's happening in front of us in real time, we're also learning to understand what's going on within our own minds, within our own heartbeat, because once that gets going, people do end up getting hurt. But because we gear the students slowly and in every class to start thinking in this way, there's a sense of control. Did we get tagged a few times? Definitely. Are we going to die because of it? No. It's martial arts. If you don't get hit, you're not training to fight. And that's okay. But if you're not getting hit and you say that you're training to fight, well, how? How does that make sense? How does clashing sticks constantly equate to hitting somebody's hand or hitting their head or hitting their shoulder? It's a safe way to practice, don't get me wrong, but at what point do we go beyond the safety of it into what is essentially an unsafe environment, which is an actual fight? Now we do this with sticks, but just this weekend in class, we got rid of the sticks. We did all empty hands. Because we took the same template but applied it to hands, because the reality is you're not going to walk around with one of these. Maybe you get into a fight on your way home from class, but even then, it might be in your trunk, might be in your bag. You may not have it available to you readily for you to really pose and start doing, and then start doing this, because that's what we see in sparring. What does it become when you don't have it anymore? When you focus on the movements. Recently we spoke to our good friend Nicholas Moreno, who gave us a few ideas on the concept of structure. One of the structures that we create in what we teach is a full chamber, which looks something like this. Full chamber. It's ready to go. It's a power shot. We teach this at the very beginning so we don't have to go back and teach somebody how to crank up. It's there automatically, because once they start moving, the fear of the stick, everyone does this. Everyone starts just swinging fast. So because we understand that, we teach the students to crank up automatically. This is a power shot. That's a structure we created. When you add all the other exercises, now I'm turning my torso, and that's becoming just a full swing, a power shot, right? You have all seen it. But what does it look like when you don't have anything in your hands? Do we go like this? It looks silly as hell. And you could probably see it coming. Or do we break down the movement that we learned through the sticks to understand, okay, I crank my shoulder back. This one's forward. Oh, well, maybe I should put something up as a block or a parry or whatever it is that you're going to do with your empty hand. But because I turn my body, this is cranked now. Now I have all this space to throw that. What if I step into it? Now the rest of my body is going along with it. Why? Because isn't that how most of us swing? We step and let our bodies completely turn, or let our hips turn, let our feet turn. But isn't that the same way we throw a cross? So developing the mechanics doesn't necessarily have to be limited to just that specific punch or swing or slice. But because we break it down to its most simplest form and then apply concepts to it, ideas, And then we take it to the realm where it is now needed without any parameters. I'm just going to punch at you. You need to take care of the punch and get inside and make a significant effect on your opponent. You got to hit them well enough where it's going to stop them from continuously punching. And we build it up. It wasn't just automatically just start swinging at the kids. No, of course not. We did give them parameters, but the parameters eventually went away. And all of a sudden, now you just have an adult swinging at you. And the children themselves, the students themselves, had to apply all the concepts they had prior in real time to make it work. Instead of being told what to do, they had to figure it out themselves. And we found that it becomes very effective for them to start remembering these things, because now it's on them to recollect instead of being told what they should be doing. And if they do something that's significant, we praise them. And if it's not good enough, we give them guidance on how to do it, but it's still just them. Because ultimately, they're the ones that are going to be in a fight. And that's how we've used these concepts in the last few episodes, culminating in just applying them. So maybe that's the secret. I don't even know if it is a secret, but it's something that I've just realized. Going into full application requires you to actually apply the things that you've learned. So you need a place to do that. And these sort of drills are a great way to do so. And it seems that the simpler they are, the easier it is to start adding your own flavor to it. Like Michael Smith says, insert your own shit here. From the very beginning. So, thank you very much for joining me on another one of Nain's shorts. Thank you very much to Eric for helping me out with this particular demonstration. Hopefully it was entertaining. Hopefully you took something of it. If not, please let me know, how do you train these things so it becomes natural for your students, so it becomes application only, not just drilling and not just techniques, but pure application. Thank you again. Until the next one. 3, 2, 1. Cut!